Board of Adjustments to order. Is there any public comment on issues with committee jurisdiction that we won't take any action on, but we'll listen? Seeing none, hearing none, we move on to approval of the April 10th, 2024 committee meeting minutes. Well, let me take roll first. I messed up, sorry. Just for the record. Just for the record, yeah. Maggie Peterson's present, Dan Trost is present, Jeff Meredith is present, Tim Cover's present, and Cindy Youngkin's present. Also present are board members Mark Berry, Dwayne Iverson, and Jack Prothero. So anyhow, back to the minutes, sorry. Robert True.
I would move to approve the minutes of April 10th meeting.
Thank you, Cindy. May I have a second?
I'll second, Mr.
Thank you, Tim. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Executive Director comments?
Nothing that won't be addressed momentarily.
All right, let's move on to
All
exempt
right.
staff recommendations.
Okay, so members, you have in your packet 2 job descriptions. They're for 2 of your exempt staff. As a reminder, 11 positions of the board's 31 FTE. Peggy will correct me over chat if I'm wrong, are exempt from Title II. The remaining are all subject to state HR policies and state HR, what else, salary surveys, market adjust, all of that sort of stuff. With the recent vacating of an exempt position, we had an opportunity, and there's been something that's kind of been stuck in my craw, and maybe some of yours over a while, and that is Louise Welsh. I do not agree with the salary survey. We have 33 positions, sorry. She's good. I don't agree with the salary survey that you're overseeing a north of $120 million loan portfolio and the associated revenues and the complications of school finance law, municipal code, state law, state bonding requirements, DNRC, DOT, DEQ, and that the salary that's currently in place is reflective of that position. So my recommendation to the board is to acknowledge the work that Louise is already doing by putting her into an exempt spot, similar to Doug, and give her the title of Director of Municipal Loans. So she would have housing and the portions of housing she has in InterCap. No change in job duties, but we sort of, any new housing stuff, we'd steer it toward Louise. Doug's position, no change, except title would move from Director of In-State Loans to Director of Commercial Loans. He's our go-to for all of the banks and the economic development organizations across the state. He interfaces on that commercial side and does very, very well at it. So the proposal before you is to retitle Doug and move Louise into an exempt position with the attached salary adjustment and give her the title Director of Municipal Loans. I'm happy to answer any questions.
One of the things is, Maggie, can I go?
Yes, please.
One of the things that is always kind of on this report is that survey, which we've determined is way off. Is there any way we could adjust a survey or do a different one, or because it sort of looks like we're being unfair if you look at the record, and I don't think that's the case.
So the only other survey that's out there that I'm aware of, and maybe Jeff knows more, is the Montana-Wyoming Bankers Salary Survey. And that's, we used to use that, but we also saw flaws in that structure. Frankly, the best judge of whether what we're paying is fair is looking at the private sector participants on the board, and is this within the realm of what someone at a Glacier, Stockman with this size of a loan portfolio and no bonus options or any, there's no performance stuff at the end of the year or stock options. Are we in that realm? And I'd leave it to Jeff to opine on that.
Yeah, no, again, I'll reiterate, I think for the Director of Commercial Loans, I think that salary schedule is right in line with private markets comparables, I think that type of a salary would be attractive to pull somebody from the private sector to replace Doug when he eventually retires. Similarly with Louise, I think that's a unique skill set, municipal lending. It's a really valuable program to the state and our local communities. There's a very high cost of transactional fees associated with small municipal loans, just through legal counsel, bond issuance fees, ratchet up just due to time. So the scale on a $50 million loan is much better. So it's a really important service, I think, that we're able to provide to our cities, counties, public sector entities there with municipal lending. And I think that skill set to attract somebody into that position needs to be more comparable to the kind of commercial loan sector in order to kind of, eventually find a replacement whenever she should retire. So I think both the proposed salaries are very reasonable from my perspective.
So Dan, are you proposing a salary change for both of them?
No,
Because the first one, the first line has is that the?
that's what you already did.
That's what we already did
Yes.
before, okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure, so. Okay. So when would this adjustment be
This one would be immediate.
immediate?
The other thing, just Dan for a minute, just one of the things that I think is gonna grow, whether we want to or not, is us doing more housing things. I think maybe, in my opinion, it should be Montana Board of Housing, not Montana Board of Investments. But it looks like we're gonna be the one. So is there a plan to help Louise get ready to do that, or what do you want to talk about that, or
You bet.
how busy she might get doing that?
You bet. So we have some vacant FTEs out there. And the way I'm looking at our vacant FTEs is where do we make money off them? I don't want to deploy FTE for support or, those sorts of things. Like one of the first things I did was get rid of an assistant and redeploy those positions to front office and support for the entire organization. And now Siri schedules my meetings and it's really cool. So when we look at where we're going to at some point, just based on growth in assets and the asset allocation of the board, need to deploy additional humans in private investments, real estate, real assets over the medium term. Not immediate, but over time, we're going to have to put more people there. The co-invest stuff you've heard about for a while. Just those portfolios are growing, those portfolios are making money, that's where we should deploy our positions. Within accounting, we have essentially the same accounting staff we had at 18 billion that we do at 28 billion. And we've squeezed a lot out of technology, but at some point, we're going to need to deploy some humans there just to make sure we don't get ourselves in trouble. It's not necessarily a money maker, but you can lose money if you don't appropriately operate that. And then you look at sort of the other places. I think Doug is probably appropriately staffed with the support he gets from the front office. With Louise, I think she's got a little bit of slack, but not a lot. And frankly, rates will have a big impact on how busy those two are or aren't. So I don't see additional FTE being allocated to her, but I could see additional assistance from the front office being deployed there.
So I just want to say, having worked with Louise in the past, in my other life, my previous life, she's very efficient, very knowledgeable, very good, makes things so easy for those that are trying to get intercap loans or do different things. So I think this is long past due, so I'm very supportive of this. We have
Plus, she takes great pictures for our annual report.
Besides that, yeah.
Exactly.
On top of it, that's just a cherry on top. Do we have a motion to approve this recommendation by the executive director?
So moved.
Thank you, Cindy.
Second.
Second, Daniel. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Well, looks like we're done.
Done.
Thank you.